My name's Aaron. Welcome back to my channel. How are you? I'm fantastic and I'm doing really well. And today I am viewing Molecule01. This is £46 for 30ml. And the description is the upper face of Molecule01 lid is stamped with the letter M and the binary code 01101, which I think is very cool. I love mass recurring numbers, algorithms, all that stuff. I love it very much. So that's super cool. Molecule01 consists of the molecule ISO E super, pure and singular. ISO E super is a molecule that hovers close to the skin to create an indefinable aura round the wearer. It is characterized by a hypermodern cedarwood note and a velvety sensation. ISO super has the marked intermittence to the wearer. It seems to vanish and then reappear. This is due to the way it bonds with the receptors in the olfactory system, only releasing to make way for a fresh change of molecule into the receptors. ISO super does not exist in nature. It was created in a laboratory at IFF in 1973. The notes are ISO super, and the ingredients say denatured alcohol, parfum, fragrance, aqua and water, and that is on their site. Do we have our bottles of Molecule01? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. So I thought I'd talk very quickly about ISO super. I am a kinetic learner, which means I learn by doing things. I sometimes look at literature, but I don't learn by literature at all. I have three forms of the ISO super, which is the isomers. An isomer is the same molecule, but it's slightly changed in orientation. You have stereoisomers and all that kind of stuff. So you have ISO super. I think you have four forms actually. I have three. ISO super, and then you have two more high impact forms, timber silk, which apparently has the most projection, and then Silemba. I think that's how you pronounce it. I quite like that form. That form smells much more woody and cedarwoody. ISO super on its own, I personally don't like on its own. It smells a little bit too cedarwoody, and it's like acidic note to it. But in fragrances, it's indispensable. And modern perfumery is based upon ISO super and helium. ISO super is synthetic, it's made in a lab, and it is allergen free. And that means it contains no limonene, linalool, geraniol, coumarin, none of the IFRA allergens at all, which means it's very safe to use on everyone because nobody can react against it. So a little bit of a backstory before I get on to the review. A long time ago, when I was trying to figure out how to get my range out there a little bit more, I was being stocked in a couple of places, and I contacted a fragrance place that puts your work out there. It was primarily women at this place, and I spoke to them. And the one girl I spoke to, very elitist about perfumery, and she was very off-putting, not very approachable, very elitist and saying this, that and the other. And I think she was trying to give us sort of backstory and all this, and I really didn't care at that point, to be very honest with you. And I don't really get impressed by many people. And I certainly don't get impressed by people that are trying to peacock themselves. Don't really like that at all. And she was going on and on about this. And I said, what's your favorite perfume? And she goes, Molecule01. And I remember thinking, because it's ISO super, what a basic bitch she is. And I've never reviewed it and I've never smelt it because she really put me off it. And subsequently, I didn't do anything with that company because of her, actually. She was very off-putting. I expected her to say something super interesting or something very expensive, and she came up with Molecule01, which is ISO super. Anyway, personally, I don't like ISO super on its own. I have a 200-litre drum in my factory. It's a brilliant raw material to work with. It adds backbone, it adds dimension, it's expansive, it doesn't alter the formulation. I view it as a backbone to build things on. And it goes with everything. It goes with florals, it goes with wood compounds, it goes with gourmands, it kind of goes with everything, and it has an enhancing effect. And you can use it in differing amounts through different things. It's kind of indispensable, and I'd really suggest I hope that you're starting to buy little raw materials and I would smell ISO super and see what it does. On to the review. The first thing is the box is different to what's on the site. And the box says the ingredients are alcohol denate, Parfum fragrance, aqua water. Then it has limonene, citral, and limonol, which suggests that it's got a citrus compound in this. So this box is different to what's on the site, which means that this does not contain just ISO E Super. And apparently this contains Gamma, ISO E Super, which is all the rest of it. But we shall see. Many apologies for the babbling, but I wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory. Do we have our bottles of Molecule01? Are we engaged with our higher self? Let's get testing. So I work with ISO E Super every day. You can smell it is dominant in ISO E Super. And I know people use this as a fixative. I'm well aware of that. ISO E Super as a fixative won't work. It would actually dilute it slightly, which kind of means as a fixative, there are other things in that. This contains ISO E Super, Hedione, and Nitromusk. There is a softness, undoubtable softness to it. And that is the choice of musks, which are soft. There's a softness to it. ISO E Super does not have that. So this contains a Nitromusk to it. Now, the citrus is one of the brighter citruses, and it's clean. So this fragrance has undoubtedly ISO E Super. The Hedione is giving lift to it. Nitromusk, like muscone. I love muscone. I think it's one of my favorite things, actually. Further added at the base with a wood-like raw material. Norlimonol, timberol, javanol, one of those, and they're high impact wood-like raw materials. And that's been added in to increase the woodiness to it, because ISO E Super is a little bit unpalatable, and those sort of raw materials add to a vibrancy and a woodness to it. Lemon and pink pepper add a top note to it. Pink pepper is used in formulations. It's actually brilliant to add a clean feel to it. And when you combine it with lemon, it's just so cool. It just adds like a clean feel to it. How I'm going to summarize this is you've taken ISO E Super and you've enhanced it. So you're adding in the Hedione to give that elevation and softness to it. And Hedione is part of the jasmine family, and it gives cleanness to it. It's, of those two raw materials, I prefer Hedione to ISO E Super. Personally, I love Hedione. I think it's lovely. And then the wood raw materials through the middle, the musk to give the softness, and then the citrus to elevate it. I'm very aware, if I'm very honest with you, this is a little bit stressful because I kind of know what this review is doing. And I feel a little bit trepidation in saying this, but this is my job. I think if it didn't have the allergens on the back of the box, I maybe have not be reviewing it. To be perfectly honest with you, I had a look at the box in Selfridges. So, and I was like, okay, we kind of need to do this, and I get asked quite a lot. There is a similarity to my new Animalics similarity, but I think my Animalics is more complex and has more substance to it. It's in the same sort of ballpark, but I think it's actually very nice. I'm quite surprised, and I wish I got it and reviewed it a while ago, to be honest with you. On to my final thoughts. So let me go through the marks for you. This is going to be interesting. The box is safe, legal and compliant to 2 out of 2, but I wish they would update the website too so they corresponded with this. Maybe this is a new batch, I kind of don't know. This is perfect good. I personally really love all the sort of matrixy sort of things. Next to Marx's value for money. ISO E Super is industrially, if you buy it in at 200 litres, you pay more, but you get it sort of cheaper. Yeah, I think, what was it, 30 quid? Yeah, it's kind of fine. I do have to say, I wish I had a little cap. It kind of feels like a bit of a half-hearted thing. I'd love a little cap. They're not very expensive. It feels a little bit incomplete, if I'm very honest with you. It gets a 1 out of 2. Yeah, it could have a little cap. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? The next marks are longevity and protection. This is not going to give you any longevity and absolutely no projection. And I don't understand the bit about the receptors and all that kind of stuff. I sort of understand the theory, but I think that's really clever marketing, if I'm very honest with you. Interestingly, because of how it's built with the citrus and muscone and all that sort of stuff in it, it is projecting off my skin. Interestingly. Now, I did wear this and it didn't last at all, so I'm going to give it a 1 out of 2. Do I like it? That girl's really affecting my marks. I'm really going to be honest with you, but I'm going to try and push it to one side. I think it's a very, very clever concept, and I think it's very cleverly executed, but I do think it's a bit boring, to be very honest with you. I'm going to mark it as 7 out of 10. It's absolutely not for me, and I shall leave it there. So hope you love that review. Thumbs up and subscribe for more fascinating, interesting content. Lots of moving hands and lots of fragrance reviews. I hope you're staying safe and well, and I'll see you soon.